Nick, unmute your mic. Unmute your mic, Nick.
You guys, this is a great start. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Let's Talk Sports Show, hosted by your guy, Bodkins here. And all that laughter in the back, you can hear that giggly laugh. That is none other than Mr. First Down joining us tonight, along with the one and only Johnny Cruz as well. And you know the producer hitting all the buttons, Mr. Tanner Dawson. And, of course, the elder statesman of the group, the one, Mr. Only, Scott Cobe. Scott, what is up? How you guys doing, gentlemen? It is our second episode. You got Mr. Sam's laugh is throwing me off already. Holy shit.
I'm sorry.
We're off the rails already. We'll get this together, folks, one day. But hey, folks, you got
somebody playing COD in there. You got somebody playing COD in your house right now, man. It's killing your bandwidth.
No, I don't have anybody playing anything right now. Nobody's on anything. Am I lagging?
You were for a little bit. You're fine now. You're good now.
Okay, good. I always does that intro. Anyway, we got a great show for you tonight. We got a couple guests coming on, but first, folks, we got some big fights coming up this weekend. That's right, UFC 289. You guys know I'm a huge fight fan. Not only, there's been a lot of talk in the NBA Finals about GOATs and things like that during this NBA playoffs, but the GOAT of women's fighting returns this Saturday night. That is none other than the two-time double champ, Amanda Nunes. That's right. The GOAT of women's fight returns. She's putting her bantamweight title on the line on a short notice versus number 5 ranked Irene Aldana. These two ladies are going to go at it for the women's bantamweight champion. That's the main event. But the fight that's a must-see fight is the co-main event. The chance for number 1 contender fight. You got Beneil Dariush, who's on a 7-fight winning streak. If he wins this fight, he's next. He's going to fight Islam. But he's taking on the former lightweight champion other than Charles Do Bronx Oliveira. Charles Do Bronx has beat everybody in this damn division besides his last time out. He lost to Islam, but he's beaten the likes of Tony Ferguson. He beat the likes of Michael Chandler, beat the likes of Dustin Poirier, beat the likes of Justin Gaethje. He's beat them all. Now he's trying to get back to his title. He's got to go through a guy who's won 7 in a row. This card is a little weak. In fact, I would tell you it's probably the weakest card that we've had on the year as far as pay-per-view. Boys, you guys want me to give you some picks? Or do you want to ask?
Let's talk about a little bit more about this Charles fight, dude.
Hit me.
That's an interesting one. So I'm going to pull.
Did I hear right? Sorry, Tanner. This is up in Canada? Is that right?
Coming to you live from Vancouver, Canada for the first time since 2018.
Sorry.
What? That long?
Yes.
So why is such a delay? I mean,
well, obviously COVID. Nobody was allowed to even go into Canada for like 2 years. So that's part of the reason.
That just seems a little crazy, right? So, but let's talk about this Oliveira fight, right? So here, figured it would upload quicker, but I'll bring up a graphic here talking about the tail of the tape because that's always my favorite line right there. Tail of the tape. You get similar in age, similar in height, weight. I mean, the inches are only two inches more for Oliveira, but
Oliveira.
I just think it's Oliveira. Oh my bad. Look, I'm still trying to. This is the new thing, right? So now I got learning time with Jim for NHL stuff, and now I got learning time with Bodkins on UFC. And I used to follow it back when it was.
That's not good. I'm not a great teacher.
Yeah, well, I know. And now I'm going downhill. So this is kind of new for me. So what makes who's the favorite in this, Nick?
So really, surprise, Dariush is the favorite, and I think it's because he's got a 7-5 winning streak. This fight is going to be real technical. I expect it. Scott, here's a bet for you. Expect it to go the over. I think the over is probably 3.
Keep going. Yep.
The distance. Even though Oliveira, his last few fights, he is kill or be killed. But I do think both of these guys it's going to be a technical battle. I would probably take the over. I'd kind of favor the dog in this fight in Charles Oliveira. I've gone back and forth. I just think that Charles is so good off his back. Charles is a great technical wrestler on his back, can submit you. He actually owns the UFC records for submissions. So hey, there's that. Beneil can win on the ground as well. I don't think it's going to be a stand-up and fight. I think both these guys are going to want to take this to the ground. Somebody could get tapped, but I also do think because both guys are so good defensively, I would take the over on the rounds.
What about the Nunez fight? What do you think about that? Her coming back from a long layoff like this.
So it's been almost a year, and I
can't believe the tweet you sent out. You think she's gonna lose, bro?
I do. Spoiler alert. I do. Here's why. I'm taking Ann New. Amanda just doesn't seem like she wants it anymore. Sometimes when you've reached the pinnacle of things, and then she just seems to have different interests. She's a mom. She's married. She even talked about, I almost didn't want to come back after she lost. So she lost the fight against Amanda Pena, against Pena. And then they ran it back last year. She got it back. And then she even said, I almost retired after I lost to Pena, but I didn't want her to be the champion. Sometimes that up-and-comer like Aldana is just more hungrier. She's longer and can throw. I think that her distance is going to cause her problems. So that's right, boys. Here's my upset special on this card.
Oh, he's got the hammer.
New, baby. Irene Aldana is your new women's bantamweight champion. And then what happens? Amanda Nunez puts the gloves in the center of the octagon and she rides off. There's nothing left for her to do. She has beat them all. She beat Ronda Rousey. She's beat Miesha Tate. She's beat Holly Holm. Every great women's fighter has fought her and they've lost. And sometimes you're just not in the game anymore. She's changed camps. She's starting a new gym. I just think so much on the outside world has bothered her. And I'm going to pick Aldana to win this fight. I just don't think Nunez has that in her anymore. It's hard to wake up and get punched in the mouth when you're waking up in satin sheets, folks.
Nick, real quick here for Nunez here. The title bout was canceled again for that Pena rematch.
Yeah, they were going to do it a third time. It was a third. It was going to be the rubber.
Anything to do with the motivation for Nunez going into this match?
I think she was probably more motivated for Pena because it was the third time. In this fight, if you notice, it's not really being promoted that great because Amanda doesn't talk on the stick very much. She doesn't really care about doing all the presser and stuff like that. Aldana's, she's Mexican, doesn't speak great English, so we're not getting that. Where Pena, she can spit on the mic, she can talk like Ric Flair and kind of promote a lot of things. So that's why also this card's a little weak, and you're not getting quite the buzz that we need. That we like to have for said casuals, but I don't think she's that motivated, especially now with the new replacement now, Donna. I think it's Ann New.
Why do you think the card is so weak going back to Canada for the first time in so long?
Scott, that's a good question. Nobody really knows why. They have loaded, and it's part of it because they've loaded. The front half of this year has been absolutely loaded. Cards have been stacked top to bottom. Me and Johnny have been talking about every month. I'm like, Johnny, this fight's incredible on these pay-per-views, 1 through 5 almost. Then the next month's card is absolutely stacked. The card after that is International Fight Week. So an International Fight Week, that card's the biggest and best card of the year, the July card. They stack it from prelim all the way up to the main event with huge names, huge numbers, fights that match for a reason. So because you stack the front end of the year, and now you got 2 cards after this absolutely stacked with great fights. This card leans into, not that great. Should they have put a little bit more of Canada flavor in it? Absolutely. Yeah. But it just doesn't have that pizzazz. In fact, to be honest, really, there's not very many even fights on this card that have ranked guys. But you get in the Charles Oliveira, Beneil Dariush, and that fight was actually supposed to happen last month, but Oliveira got hurt, so they moved it back to this month. It kind of beefed up this card a little. Another fight. This fight, I'm telling you, here's my pick for fight of the night that I didn't mention. Dan Ige and Nate the Train Landwehr. This fight, Johnny, you love two dudes who could just love to sit back and blow and take punches. That fight is going to deliver. It's going to be fireworks. Nate the Train he hits you. He takes two to get you one. Dan Ige, they call him Dan 50 Ige because he puts dudes' lights out. Both of these guys can absolutely fight. It is a featherweight fight, 145, two littler guys, but man, these two dudes can throw. I guarantee you this is going to be fight of the night. Somebody's probably going to sleep. If somebody survives this 15 minutes, they're both going to be bloody and bruised. Sign me up. And Dana White, hire me to be the damn promo guy, will you? And let's go, Nate the Train Landwehr, baby.
Yeah, you said it before I could ask. Which fight is going to be the fight that I'm going to want to watch where they're just going to go blow for blow? All right, so you're going with that fight there?
Dan Ige and Nate the Train Landwehr, baby. It's going to be – and listen to – if you guys just go back and listen to Nate the Train Landwehr, there's just the way he talks. Boy, you know he's watching professional wrestling because he's cutting promos with the best of them. And those are dudes that I love to get behind. And he's a guy that you can get behind just the way he talks on the stick and the way he fights. Jump on Nate the Train, boy. Jump on the train, boys, and let's go.
Looking forward to it, dude.
I'm actually
going to probably turn this thing on. So
yeah, bro, hit up that Fire Stick, man. I put Bodkins up on that, man. You get all the free pay-per-views, man. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that fight, bro. I don't know, man. I think Nunes is gonna want to go out a champ, bro. Like she might not have been motivated at first, but I think once you start, the training and getting ready for the fight, I think she, that the champ in her is gonna come out, man. I think she's gonna defend her title, and then I think she can just go ahead and just call it a career right there, unless they give her enough money to wind up doing the third one against Pena. But otherwise, I mean, she a champ, bro. She ain't gonna want to go out like that, bro.
Do you think she's gonna want to finish her career if she wins this fight? Don't you think that there must be something else out there for her?
I think she just wants to start a family. Like she brings her wife and her kid to the octagon. They do a nice family thing. Her wife was a fighter. She's no longer fighting anymore. I think she just wants to go about her business. Like I said, she's not like, a Connor or somebody, and she could have been promoted like a Connor because she is a double champ. She's a 145 champ, women's champ, and the 135 women's champ. So like she's really the only women's double champ. And those don't come around very often. She's special. Like I said, she's cleaned the house, but she's not a household name to a lot of people because she just doesn't get out there. She doesn't talk much. She doesn't do a lot of media. She just kicks ass in the octagon, handles her business, and goes home. And I think she just wants it to be all done and over with. I do think if she wins, I'm not too sure if she does retire, Scott, just because Dana is a big don't leave shit vacant type guy. Like he hates when champs retire and leaves the belt vacant. So he'd rather actually have Aldana win and then see Nunes retire, which I think is going to happen.
I'm going the other way, man. I'm going with the champ.
I'm going to go with the champ as well.
Yeah,
I think champ should be the official term.
I think she puts homegirl to sleep, too.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Johnny, you think it's a quick one?
No, I think it'll go at least 3 rounds, but I think she puts her out. I think she knocks her out. She don't want to go out. Yeah, she wants to go out as a champ. And then if worst case scenario, like Nick said, if Dana's going to throw enough money at her where she'll take the third fight with Pena, and then whatever happens. But you know what I'm saying? When you're a champ like that, you want to end it as a champ. You don't want to go out as, you know what I'm saying? You don't want your last fight to be a loss. You know what I'm saying? So I think she may not have been motivated from jump, but I think she's gonna, once she gets into that octagon, you know what I'm saying? All her instincts are gonna kick in, and she's badass, bro. So I'm looking forward to it, man. That's gonna be a good fight.
The comments here before we transition here to our first guest of the night. Jigaman Porto, interesting. How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Bottom Line Sports. What's up, Scott? This is Flo.
Are they all like you, Scott? Are they all
insurance out there?
What up?
What up?
For the hardcore MMA fans, how big of a letdown is the fact that Pena had to drop out, or is this considered a better fight?
I think this is actually considered a better fight. I was a little surprised they gave Pena the third match because the first match was a fun fight and Pena just put her in a dog fight and won. But the last fight, it was 5 rounds of just Amanda just playing with her and just really beating her up. And you just knew like
abused, bro.
Just abused her bad. And it was just like Pena didn't feel like she could do anything. And then Pena, this is what I mean about Pena. She can convince you. She's on, doing interviews with Ariel Helwani, and she's like, you guys, that fight was closer than what a lot of people think. I had her in this. I'm like, we must have been watching 2 different fights because the fight I watched, she waxed your ass from round 1 to 5 rounds, and everybody was just crediting you like you were tough because she was tough. But Amanda just felt like the cat messing with the mouse and just messing with it and just wouldn't eat it. And that's what that fight was for 5 rounds. Before we get to our guest, I want to make my pick on the Charles Oliveira Beneil Dariush fight. I have gone back and forth on this the whole time. Give me Charles blonde head Oliveira. When he's got the blonde head, he's a different dude. He's going to get the belt. He's going back to fight Islam. Give me Charles, baby, in another upset. So I got 3 dogs on this card. I got Nate, who's a dog. I got Beneil as Charles, who's a dog, and I got Irene as a dog. So that's going to give a nice parlay. They probably ain't 3 going to hit, Scott, but I would take the over rounds on the co-main, and I would put money on Irene to beat Amanda. It's plus 250, Scott.
I like plus 250. That's up my alley. So
hopefully it hits. I'm gonna put money on it. I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably put that parlay together.
Yeah, I'll put it together too. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our next guest.
Let's get our ad real quick.
Go ahead, Sean. I thought we were doing that after our guest. We're going to
always before, dude. I know you weren't here the first show, but you're very long. But this is how we do things.
Hey, I'm a wham bam, thank you, ma'am type of guy. You know that.
Guys, make sure you guys download the Underdog app or go to Underdog's website. Use promo code LTS for matching deposit up to $100. So you put 100 in, you get 100, put 50 in, you get 50. And it's a great little app there. It's great for best ball. I used it all throughout my last year's shows I did for fantasy football. I ended up walking away positive. And you can do 3-man matches, slow drafts, so you can go through a few days worth, or you can do the quick drafts that I like to do: 3-man, 5-man, 10-man, 12-man. So I did all sorts of things on there, and I loved Underdog. So I still on my phone. I'm ready to get back at it for it. So that's our Underdog app for hour 1 there.
There you go, people.
All right. Hey, let's go ahead and let's get ready. We're about to bring on, I don't want to say a man, but a young man. The young man.
No.
Future star.
Future star.
No.
A man whose team's got my quarterback. Scott Cobe's great grandson, the one and only Jude Jets.
Yeah, Jude.
Jude. What's up,
Jude?
Don't let me down.
How y'all doing?
Hey, Grandpa Scott, it says hello. And Jude, you got to be flying high right now. The Jets look pretty damn good. Aaron Rodgers is showing up to mini camp. I couldn't tell you as a Packers fan the last time he showed up and threw balls in May and June. And by God, I saw some of them highlights and they look pretty.
Oh yeah, you mentioned him showing up to these OTAs and whatnot. It kind of caught me by surprise, just because he hasn't shown up to them with the Packers for the past 2 years now. And in the introductory press conference, and he said, "I'm gonna try to be here during the spring as much as possible." I was like, "Well, okay, I'll take that any day of the week." So I was like, "That's exciting," and I guess it just shows, New York, new Aaron Rodgers, whatnot, which is honestly what we could have hoped for. Aaron Rodgers with that chip on his shoulders, the best kind of Aaron Rodgers. So. Got to be excited having that in the building.
Jude, to me, he's embraced New York. Like he's out there he's been to Yankee games. We've seen him at Madison Square Garden, Knicks, Rangers. Like he's kind of embraced it. He was at Taylor Swift concerts and him and Sauce, man. Him and Sauce showing up the weed signs together. They're doing a little ayahuasca. Him and Sauce together. Like I mean, he is buying in and having a lot of fun with those with that teammates. What's the realist expectations for you? What do you think of this Jets team?
Well, this is a very talented Jets team and a team that went 7-10 last year without no real quarterback. Like last season, we might have had good QB play for 4 games out of the year. Like it was very rare we saw a quarterback play good for us last year, and really for the past few years now. So now that we get Aaron Rodgers on this team, on a team that won 7 games last year, a team that has a fantastic defense, the expectations have to be high, and especially with the offense the Jets have with a potential superstar in Garrett Wilson, someone that continues to get talked about all this offseason. Brees Hall, running back that, who knows how the ACL is going to affect him, but someone that looked like he could win Offensive Rookie of the Year before he, of course, tore the ACL. But with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you basically add a good Hall of Fame quarterback to a top 5 defense team, and I mean, you can only hope the best. Could happen. Definitely expecting playoffs. I'm thinking anywhere from 10 to 12 wins. But as long as we get into the playoffs and could potentially make a run, that's kind of what I'm feeling here and what my expectations for this team are.
Yeah. Hey, Jude. I was curious. I'm sorry. You guys going to go?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, it's my time. It's my time. It's my time to talk. All right,
go ahead.
So, I've always we drafted had Corey Davis.
Holy shit, your time's up now.
Wow, somebody mute him. Anyway, so we had Corey Davis at one time on my team, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out. But I always was very fond of him. Do you think Aaron Rodgers being on that team makes Corey Davis's numbers go up? Anyway, stop shaking your head, Nick. I'm asking him. Okay.
Well, Corey Davis, like his first year with the team, 2021, he wasn't terrible. I think he had like 500-something yards, and he only played in 9 games or something like that. And he played with Zach Wilson when Zach Wilson was doing. I mean, Zach Wilson wasn't good during his rookie year. Don't get that twisted. But the end of the season, Zach Wilson was very different than the beginning of the year. Zach Wilson and Corey Davis was putting up pretty good numbers with that. And he didn't play with Mike White at all. Or even Joe Flacco in the few games he played that year. He never really played with good QB play in 2021, which was the year after he had his productive year with the Titans, almost having 1,000 yards. And then this past year, he kept on dealing with injuries, and the quarterback play got a lot worse. I'm, thinking that the numbers could be good. A lot of people are saying McCole Hardman's going to be the wide receiver 3 for the Jets this year, but I'm not really buying that. I'm thinking Corey Davis is going to be that third guy in the offense, and maybe he could beat out Allen Lazard for a spot. I don't really think so. Rumor has that he's going to be taking a pay cut pretty soon. I think he could probably have somewhere around 600 yards this upcoming year with Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback, of course, assuming he stays healthy, because he had, very good yards per catch last year. Every time he would catch the ball, it would be for a first down. He would get a lot of yards after catch. He just had those injury problems and no real stable QB play. So, it's kind of hard to judge Corey Davis just because of those injuries. But if he could stay healthy, I'm thinking he has a pretty productive year as the Jets wide receiver 3. Put up stats that you would expect from any wide receiver 3.
Jude, I was surprised that Bob Sala kind of come out and said, hey, we're not interested in D-Hop. And I wanted to reach to the screen and slap him in his mouth, because I don't know how anybody could say that, A, D-Hop, you don't want D-Hop, and 2, D-Hop's a wide receiver too. I feel like anybody that says that should be slapped. I mean, why not just cut a check to D-Hop? D-Hop.
Come at me, bro.
Wilson and everybody else like that. You already pushed your chips in the middle of the table. Like, why not just add the cherry in the top with D-Hop? Like D-Hop and Aaron Rodgers. To me, that's better than Devontae and Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, DeAndre Hopkins with Aaron Rodgers in an offense where he could have been the number 2, depending on how Garrett Wilson develops. I mean, that was going to be absolutely insane. Of course, it's not going to happen because Salah and, the Jets basically confirmed we're not going after DeAndre Hopkins, but, I mean, they definitely should have been interested. I mean, he's better than any receiver on our roster. He's super proven in the NFL. Any team's going to be lucky to get DeAndre Hopkins, but, I'm just kind of like wasn't expecting the Jets to go after him because that's not really what we do.
They were going after OBJ. OBJ literally called them and said, hey, if you match the Baltimore Ravens offer, I'll play with you guys instead. They're like, that's too much money. So why wouldn't they not go? Would you rather have D-Hop or OBJ? Because I sure as shit would rather have D-Hop. Yeah. Every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
In the same boat with you I mean, D-Hop is much different than Odell Beckham Jr. because Odell really hasn't produced since 2019. Like, that was his last 1,000-yard season. He didn't even play last year. And, DeAndre Hopkins was great last year. He only played in, 9 games, was suspended for 6, missed the
Hey,
last 2 games.
can you
of the
say that
season.
last part again? He was what last year?
Great
Oh
last
my
year.
goodness.
Ah, thanks. Okay.
Okay.
But he had,
Some people don't get it.
717 yards, 3 touchdowns.
With
played
backup
5
quarterback
games
in 9 games.
Right,
9 games
with
with backup
Kyler Murray as his
quarterback.
quarterback.
Not taking the
showing
bait,
5
boys.
games.
Come on,
But
Sam.
he was great, and I honestly don't know why the New York Jets aren't interested in DeAndre Hopkins because, of course, we were interested in Odell Beckham Jr. and we were going to sign OBJ until the Ravens offered him $15 million guaranteed. So, I really don't know why we're not interested in DeAndre Hopkins. It must be some type of character issue or all these concerns. All these reports coming out saying DeAndre Hopkins is a little difficult to work with and whatnot, and maybe the New York Jets just don't want that going around the organization. But I really don't know.
Go ahead, Scott.
There is a rumor I read before my show earlier tonight that there's a source inside the Jets organization saying they are going to try to get Mike Evans from Tampa Bay. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, bring us Mike Evans. That would be absolutely huge. Someone that's never finished with under 1,000 yards his entire career. He's definition of consistent. And if you can add a consistent wide receiver to this offense with, of course, Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, I mean, only good things are going to come out from that.
So
Yeah,
I think,
By the way,
Go
I'm
ahead,
a
Tim.
Patriots fan. I don't want him. I don't want him in the division. Keep him
Who,
out of the
Evans?
division.
I don't want either one of them in the division, to be quite honest. You know what I'm saying? But that when you mentioned that on the show earlier, Sky, and check out the Scott Cobe show on Let's Talk Sports, people. If they're gonna go after Chris Evans, then don't tell me that you won't take DeAndre Hopkins. So don't worry, Jude. That could all be coach speak, bro. So don't stress Salah saying that they're not going after him. But I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna make everybody better. I mentioned before the trade happened that if he came in with a chip on his shoulder to OTAs and all that, then I would be worried about it. So, congratulations to you on that. What's the word on Breece Hall? Is he going to come back? You know what I'm saying? Where's his status at right now? Is he going to be ready for week 1? What's the word on Breece Hall? Because he was special, bro. He's a special back. It was unfortunate he got hurt, but I'm looking forward to seeing him hopefully make a full recovery. Even though he's in my division, it's all good.
All the reports we're hearing is that Breece Hall, he's ahead of schedule with the ACL recovery, and he should be back by week 1. Nice. They said he's probably not going to participate much in training camp, definitely not anything in preseason, but they say he should be ready for week 1. And whether or not he's ready for week 1, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But it sounds like he's going to be healthy for the beginning of the year. Might not be 100% week 1, but by probably week 3, we should see Breece Hall 100% healthy. And, with, Breece Hall's injury, it could lead to the New York Jets maybe even signing Dalvin Cook because, that's been crazy rumors going on, all the time. Everyone's saying Dalvin Cook, and, I mean, I'll take Dalvin Cook as well, but, it'd just be crazy, the Jets, because if we do sign Dalvin Cook, that probably means something about Breece Hall not being 100%. And, if we're legitimately interested, that could be a reason to why Breece Hall might not be healthy, but,
who is the backup, Jude? Because is it still Carter?
It's still Michael
Carter. Still Michael Carter. We did draft Israel Abakanita this year, and we do have Bam Knight, which a lot of people are high on. I'm not so high on Bam Knight, but Michael Carter, Israel Abakanita, Bam Knight are the 3 guys, I guess, in competition for that backup job.
Jude, I want to flip to the other side of the football here real quick. The defensive tackle, his name's evaded me.
Quentin Williams.
Thanks, Johnny. Quentin Williams coming up on a contract here. How close? That's a guy they got to extend because he is an absolute stud and dog out there. Like where are they at during contract negotiations? Because this kid could be a top defensive lineman in the league, and he's probably top 5 right now in my eyes.
I mean, 100% top 5. He was a first-team All-Pro last year, a Pro Bowler, had 10-plus sacks. I mean, the dude was a stud last year for the Jets. And last we've heard of this contract discussions is that the Jets and Quentin Williams aren't, too far apart. They're not really as well. They're definitely closer than they were in the past. But the holdup isn't money; it's how long the contract's going to be. The rumor is that the Jets want to sign him to like a 5-year deal, but Quentin Williams wants it shorter than that. Something like a 4, Everyone's saying 4-year deal, could even be a 3-year deal. I'm thinking Quentin Williams is thinking he's going to improve his play within the next 3 years, and then he could potentially be better than he is right now and earn himself a much larger contract, get paid somewhere in the Aaron Donald range, or maybe even in the future, because, player salaries keep on increasing year by year. Corey Davis, we signed in 2021 to be our wide receiver number 1, paid him $11 million a year, and now players are, getting paid $11 million a year to be wide receiver 2s on teams. It just salaries keep on increasing in the NFL, and I'm thinking Quentin Williams is saying I could sign a 5-year deal, and in 5 years I could be the best defensive tackle in the game, but be getting paid like the 8th best player. Or he's thinking I could sign a short year deal, and then whenever it's time, I could be the best defensive tackle in the league and get paid like that. And that's what I'm thinking Quentin Williams is coming from. That's kind of his perspective right here. But that's kind of where we're heading. Saleh did say that a deal should be done before training camp. It's Quentin Williams is going to be at training camp. Saleh said that, not an if, not a but. He said he will be at training camp. So definitely expecting a deal done before then. And I've always said throughout this entire negotiation process during this entire off season, I just always had a gut feeling it was going to get done during June. And it's June, so anytime this month, I would probably expect it to get done.
Jude, a couple comments for you. Bottom Line Sports Flow out here says, so are they for sure hinting on to Zach Wilson long term? What's your thoughts there? Because he's still technically number 2, and Tim Boyle and Chris Strevler there, right? 3-4 behind him. So.
I mean, they're definitely committed to Zach Wilson. I always thought this entire offseason we wouldn't go after a younger quarterback option because we believed in Zach Wilson. And, I mean, of course, Aaron Rodgers is always the number 1 guy from the start just because, why wouldn't you want to pursue Aaron Rodgers? But I think they're really committed to Zach Wilson. They really want him to turn out. And I honestly believe he's their plan at quarterback once Aaron Rodgers retires. So he should be here for the long term. If Rodgers is here for, the next 2 years and Wilson's contract is up, I definitely expect the New York Jets to resign him. I just feel like they're committed to growing Zach Wilson as a player, hoping he could, have a career resurgence like Alex Smith had, something like that. I mean, his first 2 years definitely weren't pretty, but, anything's possible in the NFL. I don't know how he's going to come back and have an Alex Smith resurgence, but, you never know.
You never know. Bobby G out here. What's up, Bobby? Thanks for joining. He says, according to Adam Scheffler, the Jets are installing a dispensary inside Giant Stadium in the practice facility to accommodate their new QB.
And I told you, him and Sauce hanging out together.
Hey, they have a beer tank in the bottom of Philadelphia. This is just what New York has at the bottom of theirs, right?
What in your mind, Jude, is the floor for the Jets and the ceiling for the Jets this year?
Well, the floor is, it could range all over because if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt or if Aaron Rodgers just really isn't that good next season.
He is. Hey, Jude, you might as well hurt. Possibly. That could happen because that could happen to anybody. Bad? Yeah. Absolutely not.
Nah, he's going to ball, bro. He's
going to ball out. You're about to see, boys, mark this word, whatever. What's today? June 8th, 2023. Aaron Rodgers is my MVP pick right now. Scorched earth Aaron Rodgers. There's nothing better. He was pissed off 2 years ago when they drafted Jordan Love, and what did he do? He won back-to-back MVPs. Now he's even more pissed off. And so what's he going to do? And he's got better talent around him. He's going to Aaron Rodgers, MVP.
He has wide receivers. He has a tight end. He has running game. What in a defense? All in one.
Just got handed the team. He just got handed a great team. That's what just happened. That's what's just happened.
After what he put up last
year. Don't worry about him playing bad. I don't think that's happening at all. Injuries could always happen.
All right.
I agree with Nick on that, man. He's gonna ball out, man. As long as he can stay healthy, you're gonna see the best quarterback play you've ever seen as a Jet fan, bro.
Oh yeah.
So finish your base.
Sorry, Jude. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh no, man. I mean, I completely agree with you right there. Pissed Aaron Rodgers is the best Aaron Rodgers, and
Jude, you're not old enough to say pissed.
No, Matt Aaron Rodgers. Matt Aaron Rodgers, is the best Aaron Rodgers. And, with that, with, everything he's done in the past with the chip on his shoulder, you're obviously expecting him to be great. And with the team he has around him, I mean, the ceiling probably, I mean, it's Super Bowl. I feel like that definitely is a ceiling with chip shoulder Aaron Rodgers with a defense that was top 5 in the NFL last year. I mean, your expectations can go as high as the Super Bowl. But before, if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, you're looking at Zach Wilson as a QB. And I mean, Zach Wilson, with Zach Wilson, I don't think he's going to have a career resurgence in one off season. I mean, that's a team with Zach Wilson led that's probably going to win 5 games. Even with the talent we have, Zach Wilson's just not a quarterback that's going to lead you. Tim Boyle's not a quarterback that's going to lead you. Chris Streveler's not a QB that's going to lead you. So if Rodgers gets hurt, this team's not making the playoffs. The defense could have a fall off. This team, you never know what's going to happen. But as a floor with a healthy Rodgers, I'm thinking 7th seed in the playoffs, 8th, 7th seed, maybe an 8th seed, just because we don't know what's going to happen, how the rest of the AFC plays. But, I'm thinking the ceiling, Super Bowl, floor, 7th or 8th best team in the AFC.
I agree. Jude, get those plugs in real quick. Where can everybody catch your contact out?
Well, my social media is right here, Jude_Jets, and the YouTube channel is the Jude Jets Show, of course, on YouTube. But thank you guys so much for having me on.
Jude, I got one last question before you get out of here. What did Grandpa Scott Cobe get you for Christmas? And go ahead and tell him what you want for Christmas this year.
A Super Bowl.
Hey,
I do think it's unfair that you're serving Grandpa Scott Cobe a sweep of his Patriots. I think that's very nice.
Hey, I do want to finish out these.
He needs to give us the one.
That's right. I want to finish out these last comments here from these guys here. He goes, I know you all got Aaron, but you start out with the Bills, Cowboys, Patriots, Chiefs. I could see you start out 1-3. I could see it 2-2.
2-2, I think.
I think you beat the Bills or Cowboys and of course the Patriots. So Aaron Rodgers, MVP, LOL. Did you watch last season? He'll have a good year, but MVP. Remember this Green Bay team, Flo, last year had a chance to go to the playoffs because of the play of Aaron Rodgers in that horrendous offense and defense. So
very true.
You remember what Aaron Rodgers did with it?
I watched every play. And never once did I ever think Aaron Rodgers' play dropped off. It was the offensive line was horrible. He didn't mesh well with the receivers. This guy, you guys, you can laugh at laugh at me now, June 28th, but I'll be laughing in May or in December, baby. I'll be laughing at you, dude.
Jets missed the playoffs. Book it.
Wow.
And then Flo is out here. Bottom Line Sports says Bobby G would bet they missed the playoffs before I bet Aaron got to get MVP.
Bobby G is Bobby trolling right now.
I love it, dude.
Yes, he is.
And then Flo's like, I'll come looking for you. I can't wait, man.
You can find me right here, baby, on the Left Block Sports Show every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday morning. I'll be here screaming in this microphone.
You tell him I'm coming and hell's coming with me. You hear?
Exactly, baby. You tell him hell's coming. Jude Jets is coming with me and Mr. First Down, baby. Give it up for the one and only Jude Jets, everybody. Jude, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I got something for Jude real quick.
Oh, shit.
I've been trying to get in.
Tanner, I've been giving the guy a great outro 5 times already.
But you're not reading the script.
Oh, mercy, dude.
It's not on the script, Tanner. It's not on the script you sent me.
Well, it is actually. But I wanted to ask him, I know you follow XFL a little bit. At least you did really closely. Maybe still a bit, right? I wanted to ask you, there's some high-level cuts made, some guys that lost their jobs. Is this going to be something, just a development of the league to stay in, or is this something big that maybe we got to watch for another fold?
Well, the XFL, with Rock as the owner, with
co-owner,
the co-owner, all this. It seems like the league is in stable hands, and the league in 2020 was gonna last. It was going great, ratings are great. They were making money. They just had to fold because of COVID, and that really plummeted them. And there's been a lot of players going from the XFL to the NFL. It clearly worked. A lot of players are landing roster spots, tryouts, just getting their names out to NFL teams, putting their tape back out there. It definitely worked. And it's something that I think should continue to happen because, I'm not really sure what the ratings and everything look like, but I know a lot of people were watching the XFL. A lot of people were engaged to it. And, clearly NFL teams were paying attention to it as well, signing players and whatnot, asking them to try out for their teams. And even it's like June 8th, the championship was early May, players from the XFL are still getting worked out by NFL teams. So the effect the XFL had was there, and I definitely feel like it's going to last, or at least one of these spring leagues are going to last. But you still have the USFL going on. I think the USFL is having better TV ratings or whatnot. But either way, I feel like one of these spring leagues are definitely going to last. Maybe you see the two combine into one big league. I think that would be pretty interesting.
That would be cool.
Either way, I feel like one of these spring leagues are definitely going to last. And if I had to pick, it would be the XFL.
I think if you continue to have names that are known, like Ben Ducci, right? Or these backups.
AJ McCarron was their MVP, baby.
AJ McCarron, right?
Right.
Having these names that are known in the NFL for some reason or other, I think you're continuing to build it. I don't think they're going to fall through. I think they're just making adjustments. But this might be a good sign, like, hey, we're not folding, but yet we're still making adjustments to the league. So, which is better than what it was before, where it just folded, right? So after a couple games.
And you're also seeing players, like I know in the USFL, because last year it happened, players that didn't get signed by NFL teams, they're coming back to the USFL trying to get their name back out there again. Or maybe they just realize NFL's not a dream for me anymore. I'm going to continue to play in the USFL, just make because they're making a 60, 70K a year playing football for like 2 months.
It's perfect.
So, I mean, exactly. It's a perfect job for them. So, you can just go play football for 2 months, get 60K, and you could do that once a year. And honestly, I feel like the XFL could start to grow like, star players, the league can get more familiarity with players. The players are just coming back, grabbing the checks and going.
More consistency, right?
Right, more consistency. You start to get more familiar with players, and then other NFL players, fringe NFL players are going to realize, instead of being jobless, get in tryouts from teams every now and then, I can go to the XFL, continue to make money, put my name back out more. Exactly. Like a N'Keal Harry. Who knows if he's going to get signed by an NFL team, but he might realize XFL, USFL, that's a shot for me. Put my name back out there and just play football again and make some solid money. I mean, it's definitely just going to keep on growing. If they can spend their money right, the whole 9 yards, if they don't fold, then, we could see spring leagues still here in 10 years.
Hey, that's awesome, man. I just want to get your thoughts here before I let you go. I appreciate you. Jude Jets, everybody. Make sure you follow us.
Thanks.
Talk Sports.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jude.
Thank you, bro. Be safe, man.
Thank you, man.
See you, man.
All right.
Take care.
I thought the XFL was optional, Tanner. That's my bad.
Well, I had a couple things for it. That's why.
No,
Oh,
the blue highlight.
I think the NFL wants it to succeed. The NFL is going to want it to succeed because it's a developmental league, basically.
Yeah, without them having to pay for it.
Right.
Yeah,
Is that not the USFL? They seemed kind of hand in hand at one time, didn't they?
No, the XFL and the NFL are partnered together.
Right,
They're
right.
going to try.
Okay.
It's going to be like the minor leagues. They're going to try shit that they want to do in the NFL in the XFL.
NXT, right? Yeah.
Yeah. NXT style.
Let's finish out comments here. Bottom line, Flo says, come on my show and eat crow. Let's do it, Bobby G. The Jets ain't beating the Cowboys. Bobby G does not hide. He's a Browns fan, so he's used to not hiding in the paper bags.
Yeah, everybody sees the sad Browns face. Yeah.
Flo wants to know from Bottom Line Sports, what do you all think of the new fair catch rule during the
It's
kickoff?
horrible. It's horrible.
So
I'm with
horrendous.
Andy Reid. Andy
I
Reid.
hate it.
Stop it.
We
stop.
talked about it, I think, on a previous show, didn't we, Tanner? I don't remember
we
what
talked,
show.
it was one of our collab shows.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that. No, I don't think anybody likes it. I mean,
No.
that's the thing.
Players don't, coaches don't. Coaches don't really.
It's right up there with
So-
flex Thursday
you
night games.
taking jobs away. You take jobs away from returners. I mean,
Yep.
just start it. Everybody just start at the 25-yard line. If that's what you're going to do, if
Yeah,
you're so
just take the kickoff out.
concerned about the safety, then just take it out and just let everybody start at the 20.
Within the next 5 years, the
That's what
kickoff's
I'm
going to
saying,
be gone.
But
I
I mean,
agree.
we mentioned it. Saying Devin Hester. Saying one of the greatest return. I mean, that's what he did, was a returner. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't know, man.
Well,
That's an exciting.
I said this
player
the
they
other-
took
I
away,
said-
bro.
I said this on the other day. I said the NFL just lies. Like, they just like lying to us and they play us for dummies. Like, hey, we're about player safety. No, you ain't.
No, you're not.
You just added
No, you're
another game. You're letting them
Right.
flex Thursday night games. You're doing all this stuff that tells me you're not really about player safety. You're about what greases the pockets. But you got to say you're about player safety. So now we're like, well, what can we do? We'll get rid of the kickoffs because that's what seems where all the concussions happen. But, and then you got people down on LSU putting air conditionings in their helmets and things like that. So, like, who's really about player safety, So they don't really they don't care. I was
I was going to say, so we got 7 minutes left before the second hour starts of the show. And I actually had one thing for you that I was able to get through to Jude on the whole Odell Beckham D-Hop. Do you think Odell felt more pressure knowing that D-Hop was going to get released at some point, and that would have hurt his market even more? If Odell never got signed beforehand, if D-Hop got released, all of a sudden D-Hop's 1, Odell's back to 2 at the time.
I don't think there was pressure on Odell's part. I think you
don't think like closer we got after the draft, knowing that, or around the draft, knowing that D-Hop hasn't been traded yet. Like this guy's gonna get released.
If you're saying like he was didn't sign on draft day, are you saying he didn't sign on draft day and he was still free agency? He would be the number 2 choice, and D-Hop.
Yeah, so like if D-Hop got released, right? When D-Hop got released, if it's currently D-Hop and Odell sitting in your wheelhouse for free agency, obviously that hurts Odell's money more than D-Hop's money, because then Odell goes down a notch. And I think that's where the Ravens came into play, where they were desperate trying to get that Lamar deal done. And they're like, hey, we'll pay you, Odell. You're a big name. D-Hop, we don't know about D-Hop's situation yet because the draft's coming up. Let's just do it. And Odell's like, you know what? I got to get it done because I know that when this happens, his agent's talking to him about money. When this happens, I'm hurting. I'm going to be hurt, and I'm not going to get what I might get elsewhere. So I don't know.
That's a fair point. I don't know if Odell Beckham was actually thinking that far ahead to actually.
I bet his agent was.
Well, yeah, possibly. I mean, like I said, that's a good point. So I mean, yeah, take advantage of the opportunity while you have it and hurry up and sign and get your 15 mil. We'll see how happy he is about that decision in week 5 and 6 when Lamar can't hit him over the middle wide open.
Hey, don't hate on Lamar.
I'm not hating on Lamar. I'm just stating facts, bro.
Do we actually think that anybody but Baltimore was in the running to sign him? Because he called the Jets, and the Jets said, see you later, buddy.
Jets were out of the money, but I feel Baltimore for sure was, definitely the ones talking about it. But I feel like there was a couple other teams that aren't named that were in the running. Because
who else do you think?
But they weren't going to pay the years or the money that Odell wanted.
No way.
Who else do you think wanted them?
I'd probably go West Coast on it. I still think.
I think
at the time Keenan was still questionable, so I think the Chargers were in the range. I think the Raiders called, and I think the Broncos called. So I mean, these are all teams that are looking to enhance themselves in that kind of receiving aspect. So I just think a couple AFC or 3 AFC West teams just to get another elite receiver, and possibly even another couple of NFC teams. So I wouldn't be surprised if Falcons even called him at some point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
For Odell, I think the Rams were in play at one point. It was talk of maybe a reunion there. It was the Ravens because him and Lamar. I think the Jets were very close. Obviously, I think the Jets.
Oh.
If you listen to everybody,
I'm aware.
If you listen to everybody, the Jets thought D-Hop or Odell they damn near had the jersey printed for him. Like it just hadn't. They just hadn't sent him the contract pretty much for him to sign. And Baltimore came in like at the 11th hour pretty much and said, "Hey, this is the money we're willing to give you." And he said, "Okay."
So with Odell being signed where he was, and then D-Hop being released the time frame where he was, maybe that's why the Jets are like, hey, we made a move. We got Mecole. We got another speed back. We already made all these moves in receivers. Like, we're not going to go after another, elite receiver and pay another receiver. Because that, again, Odell was before the draft. Hopkins came after the draft. And maybe that's why the Jets aren't interested. Because they're like, hey, we already made our move. We got Hardman, who another speed back, and we got our set. I think we're good.
I want to say something about Mr. Sam's Corey Davis. I don't even think Corey Davis is going to make it past training camp. I was just curious what he thought. I don't know about how I feel about him. Cap casualty. I mean, where's he going to play at?
He can take behind him though. Like
Is his money guaranteed?
I have no idea.
If his money ain't
Contracts don't mean
guaranteed,
nothing in the NFL.
I know, but I'm just saying,
Johnny,
if they're gonna have $5 million of dead cap, they're not gonna want to just waste $5 million. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But
no, you're
right. My whole thing is you don't pass up on a great player because you got good players. So I'm not gonna not get D-Hop because I got Miko Hardman. For nothing. Just
Miko Hardman. Miko. Well, we can't get D-Hop because we got Miko. That's the dumbest thing in the world.
You know what I'm saying? I hear what you're saying, though, Tanner. That they got their room kind of filled.
Yeah, like they already did their good, right?
But if you got a chance to get D-Hop, bro, you go get D-Hop, bro. If I got to cut Corey Dillon and and somebody else or whoever,
I wonder if
Hardman
even makes the Jets. To be honest with you, could he possibly get cut? He's on a short money deal. He's not making a ton of money. Hardman.
I think he makes it. Corey Davis.
Yeah, so you're looking at 6 receivers, possibly keeping 6 receivers, right? For the Jets. Corey Davis would be your 6th receiver. There. Everybody else behind there, never heard of him. Never heard of you. Okay. I think Corey Davis is safe. Unless
I don't know. Eric can
one of these guys come out and blow it up.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets cut.
He'll be on the bubble. He'll be one of those last preseason game guys try to secure a job, and I think he'll secure one.
To be fair, they were talking about cutting him already to make room for Rodgers, make cap space.
Yeah.
So that was like a large conversation was like, hey, you going to cut him? It was.
That's why I don't think he's on the roster, Sam, opening week 1. I think he's someplace else. He might be back in Tennessee with you.
I was about to say Tennessee.
I don't think
WR1, baby.
Yeah. Vrabel was not very pleased with Mr. Davis, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, you would call him a wide receiver 1 while you're calling D-Hop wide receiver 2. But nonetheless, let's shift gears here. Last night,
no retort for me. That's fine.
Save it for Sunday, buddy.
I won't be on Sunday.
Exactly.
Scum. You're all scum.
Let's shift gears. Last night, game 3 of the NBA Finals, 30, 20, and 10 from Joker. Then he got help from Murray. He had 30, 10, and 10. The first 2 teammates to have triple doubles in the NBA Finals. I think the first 2 teammates. I thought they said in the history of the NBA. In the
30 point triple.
2 30-point triple doubles never happened in the NBA, and that's incredible. Scott, what's your thoughts? You've seen all 75 years of the NBA, so you've seen some great ones come across. What's your thoughts on these 2 gentlemen? Last night was incredible. I
thought Scott was there with Dr. Naismith when they were inventing this.
He did. He helped him. He helped him put up the peach basket.
Put him in the old black and white picture.
I think Denver, as I've been saying, for the last week or 2, when Jokic plays this way, they're playing optimum offense. And sure enough, Jokic is a facilitator for that team. He would much rather pass the ball and have 20 assists than 30 points in the game. So when you get Jamal Murray, who is playing at a high level, and Jokic is playing at that high level, Denver is very tough to beat. I mean, very tough. They took what Malone said to them after the game in game 2, and they said, all right, we're going to show you how we play. And they went out and they played probably their best game since maybe the first game against the Lakers. So I think that Miami's going to have a really difficult time controlling and stopping them. They did a phenomenal job in game 2, and then they just didn't do it in game 3. So,
well, Denver adjusted. We talked about this. Sorry,
that's right.
We talked about this after game 1 about adjustments, and Malone made the adjustment, especially against the zone. Instead of having Jokic at the foul line, he had him down at the baseline, running the offense through there, so they couldn't trap him the way they were up at the foul line. So he was able to see more of the court and make more plays. We talked about the other guy stepping up too. Aaron Gordon played well. I don't know what's going on with
Browntown killed it last night.
Jr. Like
Christian
there's
Braun.
some times where he doesn't even seem
Braun.
interested sometimes, but the other guys did step up. Murray, of course, had a big game. Let's see what Spoelstra does as far as the next adjustment. But I think Miami could be in trouble. Like Miami needed to take this game, in my opinion. I think
They had
Denver
the
has
lead
control of the series now. I wouldn't be surprised if Denver honestly winds up winning it in 5. But especially if Miami doesn't win this next game. If Miami doesn't win this next game, it's over
done.
in Denver in game 5. If Miami wins this game, then it may go. Obviously, it'll go to a 6 game or something like that. But I like Denver. They made all the right adjustments. There's not much they can do to really stop Jokic when the offense is running the way it's running. And again, if Michael Porter Jr. can snap the hell out of it, because he seems to be like moving in slow motion sometimes. If he can actually get back and focus and playing, because everybody else is stepping up. You know, like you guys mentioned, Bruce Brown, Gordon, everybody else is playing their roles, playing with more energy. If he steps up too, Miami can't stop them, bro. They just got too much. They got more talent, bro.
Sam had the stat the other night. When Jokic scores 40 in the playoffs, they're 0-3.
Yep.
Simple enough. Don't score 40. Facilitate.
It's been some fun games too, man. It's been fun.
Well, I did too, man. So JG, who's in the hoop with me, still has the Heat in 6 now. He still has the Heat winning the series.
No.
So
No.
I don't.
I mean, I'm not going to say no, but I mean, I picked Denver to win in 6.
The Nuggets
already,
needed the 2 stars to score 30+ a game, and the supporting cast has to come through.
Johnny, don't be coy. You know it's the Nugget show.
Hey, Tanner, talk about your guy from Kansas, Mr. Browntown. I mean, that was a guy who was not even the rotation, hadn't even played much. And last night he came on strong, had a couple steals. He was dunking it. I mean, that's your guy from Kansas.
Yeah, like Christian's always been that way. You know, he learned a lot of great defense from Bill Self, being in the Jayhawk world there, who prides themselves on defense. But, you know, Christian, who is actually, I believe he's been number 2 in minutes to Bruce Brown coming off the bench this season pretty much. And he's been really effective on the defensive end. Last night, he got his chance to really show his scoring ability and getting open. But you got to credit, again, Joker and Murray for making those opportunities happen. Because if they're not scoring out lights out, if they're not doing their things they need to do, that doesn't give Brown the chance to even get down low and make the scores where he needs to. So credit to that. Credit to Michael Malone for being able to actually set up the execution to get Brown into there. Because I thought Bruce Brown was going to be the one that blows up off the bench last night. He made that great 3, got that tough free throw chance, and then Christian Brown took over in the second half there, which is exactly what Denver needed, with somebody big to step up there.
Kudos to the Nuggets. First of all, Mike Malone after game 2 said, we just don't have enough effort. Like there's, we're in the NBA finals and we're out here. He called out his whole team. Yeah. From top to bottom said, hey, we don't have, we're not having enough effort. You guys pretty much stinking, especially in the fourth quarter. Like we are not showing up as a team in the fourth quarter. And his guys responded, so they took that criticism and responded where, in today's age, superstars can be like, F you, Mike Malone's probably going to get fired, next week, right? Like that's just the way it happens in the NBA. But kudos to his team to rebound and then say, hey, it's time to go. And that now they put it all together. And I just love Jokic. Like they asked him about triple-double. I don't care. Hey, I don't.
He wants to win.
Hey, we won the game.
Let's do this, guys. Let's do this here. Let's continue on this NBA Finals playoffs. Johnny, let's get that hour 2 ad read out of the way so we can bring our hour 2 guest in, because I'm excited for this one. Brand new to Let's Talk Sports, at least as far as I'm aware, and to our show, and I'm super excited to get him in here. Johnny, go and kick it off.
All right, well, the second promo is for the Owner's Box. It is a daily fantasy app similar to FanDuel, but you have more chances to win because there are more games. Download the app, use the promo code LTS, and it will match up to $500 deposit. So there you go. Owner's Box Fantasy Sports app. Check it out, people. And like I said, they will match up to $500 deposit.
All right, let's time to bring in our second guest of the night. His team is only 2 wins away from the NBA Finals. This man gets to watch the best basketball player in the NBA and Nikola Jokic all the time. Give it up for the one and only The Answer 42, making his debut on the Sports Show.
Right.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that intro. Mr. First Down there, he knows who I am, though.
How you doing, bud?
That's what I like. All right.
You guys are the redheaded bearded brothers. So you guys are a special club you guys go to?
Ginger Bros.
Oh, okay.
Just the Scott Irish descent, man. Don't read into it.
We'll start right off with it. What did you see last night from the Nuggets in the game?
I saw a complete team effort. I know everybody wants to talk about the 30-point triple doubles from the 2 stars, but y'all did mention it a little bit. You had Aaron Gordon go out there. He got a double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds. And then the kid, the baby-faced Christian Brown. This is a kid I have been touting since they drafted him. I know it's much talked about that it's almost impossible for a rookie to break the rotation in Denver under Coach Malone. But there's just something about that kid. He just wins. He's just a champion. 3 state titles in Kansas, national championship there at University of Kansas, and now he's in the NBA Finals doing something that only 3 other rookies have ever done. As much history that was made by the 2 stars, the only other 3 to drop at least 15 as a rookie in the finals was Miami Heat's duo in 2020 between Tyler Hero and Kendrick Nunn. And then we want to go way back to Daniel Booby Gibson back in the 90s.
Booby
was the first one.
Wow.
Yes, Booby back in the 90s was the first rookie. He dropped 16. Hero did it 3 times in 2020. But Brown is just, there's something about that kid when he hits the floor. The energy and the enthusiasm that he plays on both ends, the defense that he plays, and he just doesn't quit. You saw it in that coast-to-coast dunk he had. There's just something about that kid that's infectious when he's on the court. And I think it's a direct correlation between I'm trying to sound nice when I talk about KCP right now because people really think that I'm mean with him, but I've been talking about both Browns getting more minutes than KCP since about the middle of the regular season. If he is not hitting shots, he doesn't play defense. You saw it in game 2 where he fouled out. He almost had as many fouls as points. It's infuriating to watch a veteran out there in the NBA Finals dictating his effort defensively, depending on what he's doing offensively. So to see Malone switch it up and give both Browns almost as many minutes as KCP got kind of has me ilking towards seeing that being more of the rotation. We're going to see less KCP, more Brown. So we're going to see what Brown can do for you. I think it's going to be a whole lot. Both guys really kind of give something on either side of the floor. And unlike KCP, if they're not hitting shots, they are still hustling on the defensive end. And at this point, that's all the Nuggets really need. If you got both of your stars going out there scoring as many points as the other team's 5 starters, both had 66 points yesterday. You don't really need much more.
Right.
Answer. I want to ask, why are the Nuggets just kind of disrespected as far as the media wise? And there's not one person on this damn panel here picked the Nuggets to get this far. So why are we disrespecting them? And why is the nation, I feel disrespect? Nobody's talking about these guys until now. They're not really on national media or anything like that.
I think one feeds the other. I think the fact that the national media does not hype this team the way that they have their cash cows in LeBron James in LA or the Boston Celtics over on the East Coast, there's something about that coastal bias. And I think this finals really proved it. I know ESPN, all these other big name networks, they've all tried to tiptoe around that and say, oh, we don't have a bias. We just go where the stories are.
We all know they do. Yeah,
They totally do.
They do.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, they proved it time and time again in these playoffs. I mean, you saw it in the LA series. They were talking about moral victories for the Lakers after we saw Jokic and the Nuggets do things we had never seen done before. That was the lead of the show, not the fact that Nikola Jokic had set records with triple doubles or scored this many points or Jamal Murray was out scoring 25 plus points in 6 plus games. Nobody heard those storylines, but we definitely heard about LeBron James possibly, maybe, kind of, sort of thinking about retirement at some point in the future. That dominated an entire day after they got swept. Right. So that being fed to the masses makes people believe, it goes back to if you tell people they are something long enough, they will become that. So if you're going to sit there and tell people that it's boring to watch Denver basketball over and over and over again, people are going to assume that it's boring to watch Denver basketball.
Is it partly too because they're like this, you know what I mean? And they're not I'm not saying they have Jokic is probably the best player on any court he steps onto, but like they don't have a vocal guy, right? Like there's not like Jokic is like, I don't really care. I'm going to play basketball. I'm going to go home and do whatever. Jamal Murray's not really that vocal guy. They don't have like a guy like Jimmy is the vocal guy of the Heat, right? Like, hey, all the way top to bottom, whatever he says goes. And I know that behind the scenes, it's probably like that way in Denver, but is it because like they don't have like a guy, a face like that's out there talking?
I think that has something to do with it. We have probably the two most humble superstars ever in the history of sports. I mean, just to when Jokic was in his post-game presser yesterday, they asked him how it felt to be in the finals and what he thought about his 30-point triple-double. He said, well, I don't really care about my 30-point triple-double, and the only thing I care about the finals is that I get to bring guys like Jeff Green, Ish Smith, and DeAndre Jordan to the finals and possibly get them a ring. He doesn't give the sound bites. Like he's funny, he's goofy. If you listen to him,
Yes.
he's a really funny guy. But he's also so understated because the only thing he cares about is winning and riding horses. Like that's literally it. That's all he wants to do is win basketball games and then go home to Serbia and ride his horses. And then you got Jamal Murray, who is the understated. He's the typical Canadian. He's that really nice guy. He's going to say sorry and all that good stuff even when it's not his fault. But yeah, there's not really that rah guy. I guess maybe the closest they have is like Jeff Green, who's really just too old.
KCP
maybe
was your guy.
Yeah.
Real quick here.
Your fifth best guy is your talker. That doesn't really matter.
It doesn't help, right? It's not much of a headline. Michael Porter Jr. kind of underwhelming in the points department. Isn't really hitting the threes. I mean, he had 2 points. Last night, and then another 6 points. 2 points again. Was it multiple nights? No, 5 points the night before in game 2. It's just what's up with him? Is his back bothering him, or are we just seeing a bad matchup there with Miami for Michael Porter Jr.?
He's just not hitting shots. I don't know if it's a confidence thing, if it's a rhythm thing, whatever it is. I don't believe it's his back bothering him at all because he's been really good on the boards. He's only got 2 turnovers in 3 games. So he's been doing some things defensively that he doesn't normally do. I like the fact that he's playing like he's actually 6'10". I know a lot of people don't realize how big he is because of the kind of ball that he plays, but the dude is huge. He needs to be more aggressive on the boards, and you've seen a lot of that in the first 3 games, and it just hasn't correlated into offensive efficiency. Whatever the case may be, whether it's a case of the yips, just he needs some more rhythm, whatever the case may be, he just needs to figure out that shot. But the great thing is he's got guys like Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic that will continue to feed him. They're not going to shy away because he does have the sweetest stroke in the NBA, possibly the sweetest stroke we have ever seen, especially from a guy 6'10" or above. So eventually the shots are going to fall. I think he just needs to be more aggressive on the offensive end, drive to the paint a lot more, see maybe a couple of mid-ranges fall in, and then maybe take it back out to the 3-point range and start hitting them from there. But it's just a matter of time. That guy has just got such a sweet stroke that eventually they're going to fall.
Does it have anything to do that because he's a Missouri Tiger and they choke all the time? Does that have anything to do with it?
He's not really. He played like 5 games as a Missouri Tiger.
Yeah, you're just back, right? Yeah, never mind. I forgot about
that.
Yeah.
I think he showed up for like 3 classes. Like,
I don't even think he showed up to school.
I was about to say classes. What are you talking about classes?
Right. We talk about classes, y'all.
You made the mention about him watching a couple of balls go through the basket. There were a couple of times on fast breaks where I wish he would just attack the rim on a fast break, but he loves to run out to the 3-point line during a fast break, which I know that's the NBA nowadays. But I mentioned this after game 2 that it seemed like not just Pope, but also Michael Porter Jr., they were letting their lack of offense affect their defense. Now, you mentioned that KCP was doing it, but it looked like Michael Porter was letting it affect his defense as well. Did you notice that at all? And I think that's why your boy Brown got as many minutes as he did too, not just because of KCP, I think because of Michael Porter as well.
Yeah, game 3. Yeah, game 3, he definitely showed some cracks on the defensive end. It might have been the fact that the shots not going finally were getting to him. But a lot of people don't realize he had a double-double in game one. He had 14 points and double-digit rebounds. So it's not like he's had absolutely just miserable games. And in game two, he played really good defensively. He just didn't hit enough shots to make a difference for the Nuggets there in that loss. And then yesterday, he just didn't really need to make the shots. So maybe that had something to do with too. They didn't really run the offense to him. But Murray did say after the game that he just needs to keep taking the shots. They'll keep running plays for him. Him personally, Murray will make sure that he gets some plays ran within the game. So he's going to get his shots. He just needs to get that confidence back and understand that he is one of the best shooters in the game. And then I think those shots will start falling.
Is this team, because I mean, I know they got to win one before we can start considering multiple, but this team to me seems like it can go for quite a few years. Maybe the dynasty that Scott Cobe thought he was getting down up in Boston. Now we're going to see it in Denver.
Harsh.
I mean,
bro, they're young enough.
I'm glad you brought that up, though. I am glad because not many people want to talk about the fact that every one of the Broncos starter, or wow, I just said Broncos.
Hey, we're talking Nuggets
starters
Broncos
are locked down for at least 3 more years.
Right.
So, and the oldest guy is Nikola Jokic, and he's 28. He just turned 28. So they definitely have the capability, and this team is together. It's not like they got to worry about a free agent outside of Bruce Brown this offseason or over the next couple of years. And I think with KCP in a couple of years, Christian Brown will take that, so that's not a big deal. But talking about right now, over the next few years, definitely this team can come back. Will they? I mean, we've all seen it. Everything looks great on paper. They have a couple of guys that have some injury history, so I want to kind of quash those talks for now, but it's definitely a possibility.
Well, I think people forget how good this team was in the bubble. I think everybody puts it because it was the bubble, but this team was in the Western Conference Finals, and it was looked like, hey, this team's about to make a run. And then obviously Jamal Murray blows out his knees, out for 2 years, but now we're seeing back what he can do fully healthy with Jokic. Michael Porter he's still young, pretty much on I guess kind of his rookie-esque deal. And then you added a couple other pieces. The biggest trade I thought to get Aaron Gordon when they got him, I said, man, that is going to be huge for them because now he doesn't have to be the guy. He can just be a great role player, and he has developed into an absolute role player. And Jokic just throws it up on perfect dimes, and he can just go get it. It's like a quarterback just lobbing one into the corner of the end zone, and he gets it and dunks it.
Yeah, I agree. When they made that trade, I wrote an entire article about how Aaron Gordon was going to find that next level of being great without the superstar numbers. Like he's not going to go out there and score 20 a night, grab 20 rebounds and stuff like that. He's going to go out there. He's going to average about 14 to 16 points a night. He's going to grab a handful of rebounds, have a handful of assists, and just play lockdown defense on whatever the other team's best scorer is. Outside of maybe the 5, and even he's even capable of guarding some 5s in this league. When you're talking about guys like Bam Adebayo right now, the smaller centers in the league, he can get up on those guys too. So he's just an all-around great player. He might not be that superstar people thought he was going to be when he came to the Magic, but I think he's just enough of a star for this Nuggets team that he's going to be that piece that knocks him over the hump, and he kind of has in both the wins they've had.
So
he's gonna do all the dirty stuff, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Scott.
Talk about Mike Malone and how underrated a coach
it's
he
Michael.
is.
It's Michael.
I'm sorry, Michael.
Yeah, be
Malone.
careful. Don't call him Mike.
Yeah.
How underrated a coach he is in the NBA and how good he is for this team.
I'm so glad. I mean, he's just another one of these guys on this roster that it's so nice to see him get some vindication. Like we've talked previously about the Jeff Greens and DeAndre Jordans. He's the coach version of that. I mean, I think he got a lot of disrespect from what happened in Sacramento that I don't really believe was his fault. I think he really was kind of set up to fail at the end after he lost to DeMarcus Cousins and them. So to see him come out here and prove that you don't have to do these knee-jerk reactions. You don't have to be the Eric Spoelstras where you change up your defense every time you call a timeout, that you can stick with your stars and you can believe in them and that you can grow an organic team the way that they have here in Denver. To see that happen after watching all this ridiculousness with the decision going to Miami and Kevin Durant going to Golden State, to see a team that was homegrown was able to grow under his leadership, and they are now this close to the mountaintop, I think is a true vindication and showing of exactly what kind of a basketball mind that Coach Malone is. And it's just really nice to see a guy like that seems to be a really nice dude and humble dude that's able to come out here and be successful.
Let's hit the comments real quick here. There's a bunch here. Let's see here. We got Bruce Brown from Flow. Bruce Brown has been a solid all playoffs. This is his first game off, and he wasn't really off. Like, he's built for the defensive side. That's what you saw at K-State, and he was phenomenal in the defense. And this is what he does. He's not really a scorer. He can be, but he's not. It's like Christian Brown. You're going to get more defense. You're going to get on the scoring aspect there. The Bobby G says the answer, rocking the Amish look. See you, big Phil. He loves
Chris Kaman. Hey, Chris got the Chris Kaman look.
That's great. This is the wife's. The hair's the wife's fault. The beard's mine. She got the long hair. I got the long beard. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
Dad joke. Here comes the dad joke, everybody.
The Flo. Why can't you hear a redhead's footsteps?
They walk so gingerly.
They walk so gingerly.
Hey, my wife is a ginger, yo.
Yeah, my brother's a ginger too. Yeah.
Gingers are
Flo
awesome.
says Bruce Brown's been solid, but Christian Brown has been underwhelming until game 3 of the finals. Again, defensive aspect, not really for the offensive side.
He needs his opportunities, man. If he gets more opportunities, I think he'll keep playing well.
Yeah, he hasn't got enough.
I love the energy, man. He's got great energy, man.
Exactly.
Well, sometimes, these coaches, like, once guy's got to work his back into the rotation. He got kind of out of the rotation. They give him an opportunity. He played his ass off in game 3, and now you're going to see, I think, game 4, hey, we're going to reward you. Here's some more minutes. So kudos to Michael Malone.
Just forcing the offense too much. Yeah, KCP has been forcing it.
Yeah, it's been painful to watch.
Tanner, can we sneak in a Broncos question?
Heck yeah.
Oh, sweet.
I'm open.
Hey, Frank Clark signing. What's your thoughts, dude? Are you pumped?
The third all-time postseason sacker being added to the likes of Randy Gregory, Baron Browning, Jacob Martin. I'm all for it. And especially at how low of a rate. I mean, $5.5 million guaranteed, $7.5 million with incentives. How can you go wrong? And he's going to have a vendetta against a team we haven't beaten 16 tries. So I'm all for it. Let him go sack his ex-quarterback.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Chiefs didn't have a close offer to that, just for the depth aspect of it. But yeah, I mean, it's great. Again, coming from a Chiefs fan here, you're getting the veteran presence of Frank Clark through the season, but you're not seeing the real Frank Clark until it's playoff time. And so that's going to be the real thing to see if see what happens this year, right?
So
I think he averages like half a sack a game in the regular season, and then again, he's the third all-time postseason sacker. So yeah, it doesn't make he's kind of like the Hemi buckets of the NFL. He just shows up when it matters.
Playoff Jimmy, playoff Frank.
So two-part question. First of all, Javonte Williams, what is his status? And number 2, they signed Samaje Perine in the offseason, and there is a running back that's going to become free as of tomorrow. What's the interest level in Dalvin Cook for them?
Look at the Saints and see what kind of running back room they had. They had the bruiser in Mark Ingram, and then the do-it-all back in Alvin Kamara.
Mm-hmm.
Javonte Williams, ultimate bruiser. I've nicknamed him the Grim Reaper because he's just out there snatching souls. Marlon Humphrey's butt cheeks are still imprinted in Power Field. So that kid being able to go out there and just destroy people, I am all for it. He's ahead of schedule. Last I heard, he's looking like he might actually be in at training camp, not the beginning of the season. So he might get an almost full offseason even after tearing his ACL in game 3. So it's good to, it's good to be young. He's a rookie. It's good to be young. It looks like he's going to bounce back quickly. And then, Dalvin Cook, could you imagine that? Getting smashed in the face over and over again by a Javonte Williams, and then all of a sudden Dalvin Cook comes dancing out of the backfield. And if he's even anywhere near what he's been in Minnesota for the last couple of years, that duo would be an absolute monster, especially with the additions they've done at the offensive line with Ben Powers. You got the belly, Quinn Minor still over there at guard. You got Garrett Bowles coming back from his own ankle injury. You got Mike McGlinchey out there at the right tackle. that just loves, every one of those guys loves to run block. They're all maulers. They just like to just be those big dancing bears that just destroy defensive.
They want to run the
tackles
ball.
and defensive ends.
They want to run the ball.
Hey, what's the expectations with Russ Wilson here? Because last year he absolutely stunk up the joint. Everybody blamed it on Nathaniel Hackett. And I think part of that was week one on national media on the Monday night game. He never had a chance after that,
Yes.
as far as Hackett. But Wilson played awful. Can he fit Sean Payton's, system? And what's your guys' expectations for Russ here in year two?
I think Sean Payton has proven that any quarterback can fit into his system between what he's done with Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill. He made Taysom Hill look like a possibility.
You got
at
money for him. Made him money.
Exactly. He got that boy paid big time. Exactly. So I think any quarterback in that system is going to be good. When you add a quarterback and the disrespect that Russell has had to endure over the last 12 months, I think is only going to fuel him. And I don't get it. I don't understand why people have gone to the personal side. I know there's plenty that he did on the field that people can attack, and that's completely fair game. I think this year, after what he just dealt with what he's going to have at his disposal, he's going to have his top 3 wide receivers from day one. He's going to have Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and Timmy P. Add in KJ Hamler, who's an absolute burner. And you got 4 guys that can go and get it at any level of the field. Then you have Greg Dulcich, the tight end, who's going to be featured a lot like Jimmy G was back in his days back in New Orleans, where he had some of his best seasons. Then again, the offensive line's better. You already had a very, very good defense that's added some key pieces in the offseason. This team is going to be a problem. Now, I'm not going to sit here and drink all the Kool-Aid like I did 12 months ago. I did sit here and eat a lot of egg. I was one of those guys talking about, Russell Wilson for MVP, all that good stuff. I'm not going that far, but I do believe this is a playoff caliber team, and they could make some noise if they make it in the dance.
Where do you think they're going to finish this year in the division?
I do believe they still end up second in the division. I think they're going to be above 500, somewhere in the 9 to 11 win range, and they're going to sneak into the playoffs as a wild card.
Did they get their dub finally against the Chiefs since 2016?
That is one thing I will go out on the limb. This is the year we finally take one from Kansas City.
There it is.
And
Tanner.
Raiders.
Yeah,
And Raiders.
Tanner.
I don't know why.
Why the Raiders out of everybody?
No, you're going to
I'm
swap.
saying I don't understand. No matter how much they have sucked over the last 5 years, we just can't beat them. Even with Mike, we let Josh McDaniels sweep us. That was the most embarrassing thing of last year. Out of everything else, Josh McDaniels swept us. That is something I cannot forgive. And I blame all of that on Hackett, and I am so glad he is in New York. The Jets are about to find out exactly how well he can call plays. Because from everything I've heard, it was essentially a bunch of monkeys throwing crap against the wall and seeing what stuck.
I love it, man. I think the Raiders are just going to absolutely stink this year, especially if they don't have a quarterback. So
Oh God, yes.
I can't wait.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Oh, me too. I'm laughing.
I read on NBC Sports Edge today, you know who the Raiders might turn to if Jimmy G fails his physical?
Please tell me.
Carson Wentz.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Yeah. That guy gets so many opportunities, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Neck acne and all.
I thought Matt Ryan was next in the line, right?
That would be great. Did you know how many interceptions Pat Surtain would have in those 2 games?
I remember when he was with the Colts, and somebody heard Mike Vrabel in the locker room, like, look, he's going to throw him. Just be ready when he does. I was like, jeez.
He's just going to chuck it. Whether it's to his guy or not, nobody knows, but we'll find out when it lands.
That's right.
I love that. Daniel, where can we find you, man?
You can find me on my Twitters right there at _theanswers42. I also have a show over on e5280sports.com every Thursday, which is The Answer is 42. And then I have a show here on Let's Talk Sports starting Tuesday. That's Let's Get Some Answers with Dan Wetstein. I'm all about the answers, man.
Nice. What answers are you looking for? Quarterback, or what are you looking for there?
All of them.
What? How do you know Sam?
We were on I was
we
on
did
a
a show
show
together.
You were on a show together.
They were at the Redheaded Redhead Are Us together.
Yeah.
Redhead
Convention. They found us in the same aisle as Chucky.
We talked about logical things, Nick. You wouldn't understand.
Whose beard's uglier? Is that what you guys were talking about?
Oh man.
Hey,
He's
I'll
gonna
get
coming
you.
after this.
I'll get
Hey.
you on the show again. But
Hey, Mr. Answer 42.
Hey,
go ahead, Johnny.
No, I was just gonna say, man, you're welcome anytime, man. It was a lot of fun having you on here.
It was
Yeah.
a blast.
I
And as
appreciate
far
it,
as
man. It's
as
been a
far
blast.
as Devontae Williams taking souls as a Miami Hurricane fan, he got Manny Diaz fired, and there are a bunch of Miami Hurricanes players that were embarrassed off that field that day because he was embarrassing the Hurricanes that game, bro. Like I wanted the Dolphins to draft him that year. Devontae's a stud, bro. He's a stud, bro.
I agree. I appreciate
I
it.
hope
Love
he
there,
comes
man.
back 100%, man. I hope he comes back. 100%.
Hey, yeah.
Same here. That's my guy. I love that dude so much.
Hey, we appreciate you. I thought I was talking to Chris Kamen for most of the night. That just was the weed I was smoking before the show. So I appreciate it.
I'm from Colorado, brother.
Hey,
Just saying. Born and raised, baby.
Hey, we appreciate it. Everybody, please check out The Answer 42 right here on the Let's Talk Sports Network. Thank you. Big round of applause. We'll see you next time. Hey, Nuggets, hey, where you got the Nuggets real quick? Nuggets and what?
6.
I still have 5, dude.
No, I'm talking to more than 42. I know
I
y'all's
called
answers.
Nuggets in 6 from before the series, so I'm gonna stay with that. I think that Miami does get one more at home, but the Nuggets
Who wins
are gonna
tomorrow
come
night?
out.
Who wins tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, I think Miami Heat just is going to stick it out because I don't think they can get embarrassed on their court like that again.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks.
Most definitely.
Thanks, Daniel.
We'll see everybody. Give it up for a number. The Answer 42. You catch him right here on the Let's Talk Sports Network again.
awesome,
Right.
dude.
Johnny Cruz is the answer 42 now. There he goes.
Watch out.
Hey, we found the answer he was looking for.
Dude, that was a blast there. He's a great guy.
Yeah,
to
he's
talk
cool,
with.
man.
He's great guy on
Good
Twitter,
dude.
too.
I didn't know. I mean, I thought Sam was the ugliest redheaded guy I ever came across, but Jesus, I mean,
Nick, thank you. A compliment. Wow.
I'm
Don't
kidding.
give me
42.
those.
I kid because I love. I kid because I love. I kid because.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Terms of
Well-
endearment. Yeah.
Well, guys, we do have a minute. I know this is the topic you guys want to talk about.
Golf.
PGA, Live, the DP, whatever, all combining now, merging up. Rory McIlroy is very unhappy. Obviously, Liv just told him to just stop being a whiny bitch. So, again, talk about it, guys. I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Here's my thoughts, and I kind of my first thought is how pissed off am I if I'm Rory McIlroy and everybody else? For the better part of the last year and a half, 2 years, he has been the face of the PGA, anti-live. They offered this man 600 million, Scott?
I believe so. Yeah, pretty close to it.
$600 million. Rory said thanks, but no thanks. The PGA said, "Hey, you guys go play for Live. You ain't allowed to come back. You're not playing on our tournament. Take that money. We'll never see you again." Guys went over there. They made a shit ton of money. They were still allowed to play in a lot of the majors, so it didn't really matter because the majors aren't part of this PGA Tour stuff like that. And then what's the PGA? So then they don't even know. They think these guys are meeting in a secret room about who's suing who. And what do you find out? They come out the room saying, "We're the best of friends. These guys are going to grease our pockets." And now all the guys who could have left to make money, they're just shit out of luck. Like Tanner said, hey, stop being a crybaby back bitch, Rory. And Rory's just got to sit there and suck it up. Yo, I would walk in. If I'm Rory McIlroy, I would walk into the PGA and I'd dick slap him. I'd take out my dick and slap it right across his forehead. $600 million? Are you kidding me? That's generational wealth you just cost that.
He did nice. He got offered anything.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. He
That's
can buy all he wants.
Hey guys, I got some
You got
breaking
Sam's got
stuff. Yeah.
Go ahead, Sam.
All right, Jimmy Dunn has done an exclusive interview with SI Golf with some new details. Jay Monahan will be overseeing the PGA Tour, Live Golf, and the DPWT. It is up to Monahan to disband LIV if he is to choose. A full evaluation of Live will be conducted at season's end. PIF won't actually contribute anything directly to tour players. PIF will get right of first refusal to be Tour's investment partner at any opportunity through the new company. Penalties to return to the PGA Tour could be significant. Wow.
What the world?
So that goes against everything that was first reported, because everything that was first reported said these guys can reapply for their PGA membership at the start of 2024 without penalty, without problem. I think Jay Monahan is going to lose his job. I think that's what's going to happen.
I think they're just trying to save face, bro.
They are, Johnny.
They're trying to save face right now.
Yeah,
because
they getting paid a ton of money. They you know what I'm saying? They basically sold out because, like Nick said, for the last couple of years, you know, trying to be all high and mighty that they didn't want that blood money and all this and that. And then as soon as they offered them enough money, it was like, well, okay,
see ya.
Maybe we could work something out.
Everybody got
all this backlash that has been coming these last couple of days. So now they got all this fine print as far as all these outs that they can possibly have. Ultimately, the bottom line is they're going to wind up merging because money is the, you know what I'm saying? The answer to every question, answer 42 is money. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to make it happen some way or another. Maybe they'll penalize the guys coming back as far as their standings or something like that, but they're going to let everybody play at all the events, bro.
And are they changing prize money up at all, like for these tournaments now?
Yeah,
The Live is going to back. They're going to financially back the PGA. Like that's why.
like,
And
watch them. They're going to want a major over on their soil, bro. Watch.
Yep. The thing that also got me curious
be the give and take.
Was that Tiger and Rory were they told them every decision except for this one. They didn't tell them that this was happening. They kept them in the dark. They didn't say anything.
Foul, man.
And when they had the meeting up at the Canadian Open a couple days ago, a lot of the golfers were saying to Jay Monahan, "You're a hypocrite." They were yelling, "Shit, hypocrite."
Well, so, I know Johnny alluded to the backlash. I don't. It's like some 9/11 event. Organization they had come out against this, pretty much calling Monahan.
Jay Monahan actually used the 9/11 as part of his example.
That's
why
what
it was a bad thing.
That's right.
And now you reverse. Hey, everybody got a price. Everybody got a price.
If I was a professional golfer, I would boycott until he resigns. That's how I feel.
I hear you. I'm with you on that one, man.
Hey, I seen Shooter McGavin tweeted out, hey, they're going to ask him to join the 9th green at 9.
What up, bro?
I think a lot of these players are going to boycott the FedEx Cup playoffs. I think that's what might happen. They're going to hit them where it hurts the most, which is the FedEx Cup playoffs.
Yep.
Correct.
Here's the thing, though. We say that they're going to boycott, but the dude who runs the Live makes like $6 billion a year. Like
he doesn't care.
He don't care. You know what? They can be like, hey, how much
printing money, bro?
Yeah, how much money is it going to take for you to play? Like I just said, everybody got a price.
Right.
I'll boycott. How much? I'm gonna boycott this. Well, what if you win? We'll give you this. Well, I'm still gonna put. No, what if they're just gonna raise it up? And then eventually you're like, shit, if I go out there and play 18 hole, 3 days of good 18-hole golf, and I win, that's life-changing money. Tiger was offered $600 to $500 million to go play.
Last report I saw was 800.
I thought it was closer to
800,
bro. It was.
I saw 800.
Yeah, dude.
That's
insane.
Yeah.
The other thing that's going to happen is these live golfers who, like Phil Mickelson, $450 million he made when he signed his name on the contract. These guys are going to find it hard if they come back to the PGA Tour full time, because these PGA golfers. No,
he got $450 million.
Right, I agree, but the PGA golfers are going to freeze them out. They're just going to not talk to them or anything.
Hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna roll. Hey, I might roll up $100 bill right in front of Rory McIlroy's face and light that bitch right in front of him and smoke it.
Do you guys remember? How what's his name? Phil Mickelson was dressed. He looked like somebody that was trying to be on Gone in 60 Seconds. He had the leather jacket. And
exactly.
He's such a dork, man.
This is going to change the game of golf forever. because I have a feeling some of these live rules are going to be put in place. In
No,
the
they
PGA.
won't. No, they won't.
I think the team thing, Scott. I think you're right, Scott.
They're not gonna risk their game, bro. They can't change rules and
The team,
holes.
the team thing, I think could be a carryover where it's like where you're on a team. That thing could carry, especially maybe, it's never going to be like that in the majors, like when they're playing the majors. But some of these smaller tournaments and things like that,
they're not going to do 54 holes. They're going to do the same. They're going to do the same holes.
No, I'm not saying that. That won't change.
Like
72.
Right.
Yeah,
we'll do 72, but
I do think the team aspect thing, I could see something like that happen.
Some of the
and like I said, there's gonna be more tournaments, and like I said, they're gonna want a major to be over there.
Yeah,
they're gonna try to make that happen.
Oh,
again,
that. Yeah,
they're gonna pay enough money where they're gonna wind up doing it. So.
100%.
Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, I would be like just overall pissed off if I'm Rory or somebody, and they've handled it.
Yeah, I would be too.
Decently okay, but like I said, hey, I'd punch him right in the face. Just that's life changing
betrayal,
right?
Yeah, right. And I know those guys. Some of those guys, especially let's just say maybe not a guy like Rory or somebody like, but just I don't know, like a middle guy, right? Like Rory's a top tier guy, but a middle guy who stayed and played at the PGA and didn't go over there and make more money. Like he stayed and now he's out, because he was told that if he went, he couldn't come back. So, and now we're getting new reports that, like Sam just read that could change. So I don't really think they know. I do think, like Johnny said, they're trying to cover their backtrack and covering their ass. So it'll be interesting to see. I think we'll have a little bit of that developed on Sunday and definitely by Monday, I think, for Monday's show to see kind of where we're going to be at on that. Let's go ahead. Let's get into our parting shots here. Johnny, let's go ahead and start us off.
All right. Well, I mean, again, another great episode. Shout out to Jude Jet. Shout out to The Answer. Shout out to the one and only Mr. Dan Harris. This is a lot of fun. I'm loving this show that we got going. I can't wait till Sunday morning, 9 Eastern time. 9 Eastern, 8 Central will be AM. Will be Sunday's show, so I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna cover the UFC fight from this weekend. So I'm excited, man. I'm having fun and I'm looking forward to it. I get Friday off, so I get to just chill with the family. Saturday at 5 o'clock. Saturday at 5 o'clock. I should be with Dan doing Let's Talk About It, and then Sunday morning I'll be back here with you guys, man. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Scott, you got any final thoughts?
No, I do. First of all, this has been great. Tanner was giving us the numbers through the chat. It's great to see that people are watching this and people are enjoying what we're putting out there. So, I shout out to Dan Harris, shout out to Tanner, shout out to Nick, shout out to all of us for being on here and just doing what we do best, which is entertainment and giving across information. So other than that, my tapioca pudding's waiting for me. So
well done.
Wow.
Mr. First Downs, go ahead and get your last and final thoughts.
Always a pleasure being on the show. Always a pleasure being on with these guys. And thank our guest, Jude Jets, and The Answer is 42 for coming on. It was stellar. I will leave you with this line here. No matter if you're pessimistic or you're optimistic about your team's chances this year, you're still a fan of the team. So don't let some jerk off on Twitter tell you that you're being too negative or you're being overly positive. It's your team.
Yes, well.
If that's how you feel about them, that's how you feel about them. Nothing wrong with it.
Yep. Do you?
You don't want to talk about your D-Hop situation?
Yeah, all right, put me on the big screen. You want me to load it up? No, I'm just kidding.
So Sam,
Oh, we're doing it. D-Hop is 31 years old, okay?
So Sam, stop tweeting us about how our teams stink and your team's going to win the Super Bowl this year.
What are you talking about? I have not tweeted that at all.
Mr. Producer, the man clicking all the buttons, putting all this together. Go ahead, Tanner.
All right, guys. Big breaking news here. Vegas is up again, 2-1 up on Florida with 8 minutes left in the third period here. Again, it's a similar matchup what we're seeing over there in the NBA world with Denver and Miami. Bigger teams, more athletic, and bigger size, bigger teams, and a team that, as much as it may say, Denver wants this thing, Vegas wants this thing really bad. And these are both teams that have to prove their worth. So I'm, great deal here, winning some bets. Hopefully this finishes 3-1 and I win even more bets. So, by the way, excited for Sunday. It's going to be a blast.
Yes, it is. I'm pulling for you, man. 3-1, so Tanner can make some more money.
Let's get it.
But look, the number one teams are showing why they were number one seeds, bro. I mean, it was a nice story. The whole, these 8 seeds making a run. That was a nice story, but
I know it's insane. It's a great story, but you run into a team eventually, right?
Right.
You're running somebody. All right, Nick, take it away.
So, I don't know what I was going to say. I just want to say I love this. I really do. This is, to me, I could do this for the rest of my life, and I would probably be the happiest thing in the world. I'm not the best at a lot of things in life, but I know this, and I love doing this stuff. And it's a blast coming on here every whatever, how many times we're going to do this. My final thoughts is, man, we got to be dogs, just like we're watching some of the Heat games. We've got to be dogs like the Nuggets are about to, I think, winning this thing. As a collective unit. That's the thing, is the Nuggets are winning as a team. They didn't go out and buy a bunch of superstars. They built this from the ground up, just like Dan Harris built this program and this network from the ground up and made it to the championship. Someday, I promise you, that'll be us. We're going to make it someplace, somewhere, maybe to the trash can. I don't know. But, we're building this thing from the ground up, and I feel like we're going to do big things eventually. One day, one thing at a time. But just like the Nuggets, we'll eventually get there because we believe in each other. And I don't think anybody thinks that they're bigger than the team. We're all together in this together. Love having y'all. It's been a lot of fun. Make sure you do join us again Sunday morning, 8 o'clock Central Time Zone, 9 Eastern. Wake up, pour yourself a mimosa, drink yourself a little Bloody Mary. Join us. We're going to have Vic from the Rec Room Sports coming on. Is it Vic, right, Tanner?
Yep, Vic.
Vic from the Rec Room Sports is going to be joining us. We're going to talk the fights from the UFC. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a little bit of football as well. We'll talk about the Dalvin Cook situation. We didn't really get into that tonight. Yes. We'll probably talk a little bit more of the D-Hop situation. Sam's not going to be here to defend himself, so we'll just pretty much talk about why he's stupid. Thinking D-Hop.
You don't let me talk now anyway, so why not? So,
we noticed this today when we were like, "Go ahead, Sam." So
off screen, but you know what's happening.
Guys, everybody knows that on this program we kid because we love. We bust each other's chops because we love each other. Absolutely.
No other place I'd rather be, man.
So, with that being said, be a friend, tell a friend, like, subscribe, share. We'll see you Sunday morning.
Shout out Dan Harris.
Early, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. Bloody Marys, mimosas, coffee, whatever your morning drink is. Tune in, talk some UFC, talk some football, and God knows else, whatever talk out. Put some comments in. We'll talk about it just like we did. Thanks for everybody listening, all our comments. Tanner,
for God's sake,
hit that outro, baby.
That's not it.
One life better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Bloody hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say